Well, this is Pastor Kevin Lindley from Winston Assembly of God in Winston, Oregon. And tonight we have the Holy Spirit Chronicles Part 20. It's Wednesday, and it is Tax Day, the 15th of April. All right. Coding, flatlining in the emergency room. Allison's story continued. The team of doctors at Centralia Providence Hospital discussed Kevin's condition in some somber tones, convinced he was not going to pull through. The medical team lost life signs on him and sent a nurse to escort me, Allison, from the emergency room to the quiet room until the hospital chaplain could get there to tell me the bad news. So far, nobody told me what was happening while I waited behind the emergency room doors. Dr. Brown, who lived in Mossy Rock, happened to be working that night, and he knew us. He got life signs back from my husband and called for a helicopter to transport Kevin to Harborview Trauma Center in Seattle. Kevin's condition was beyond what equipment and expertise of that small hospital could handle. When the chaplain entered the room, he looked relieved that he wasn't going to have to tell me, Allison, that my husband was dead. But he did tell me some bad news. His lung had collapsed. It doesn't look good. Air transport is on its way. I had heard Kevin's prayer while he was still at home in Mossy Rock. God, if you're going to take me now, because I can't bear this pain. I felt Holy Spirit comforting me and that he wasn't going to die at this time. The chaplain saw my confidence and mentioned he noticed the faith I had and to keep it. Kevin's first encounter in heaven. When I'd entered heaven, it was through a corridor of light. I met Jesus face to face. We hugged and he took my hand and led me through an opening in the corridor. Jesus said, I want to show you my heaven. I encountered spectacular visuals of heaven. I began to realize that my vision was multi-layered. I had the ability to see in multiple dimensions. My mental ability was outrageously enhanced. My intellectual perception was now in extreme high definition. High definition perception. My ability to experience the five senses, sight, hearing, smell, touch, taste, were amplified to thousands of senses. Known complexities were easy to understand. And then, not just that, but also unknown complexities that I'd not even thought of were easy to understand and now open to me like never before. We don't experience this kind of high definition except in the realm of heaven, by a glorified soul, spirit, and body. I have experienced this high definition in the heavenly realm, and during the visions, and later in visions and dreams the Holy Spirit has led me into. I know other people who have experienced this heightened high definition state in dreams and visions without having a near-death experience. Some biblical examples of people who have experienced this high definition state would be Jacob, and when he laid his head on the rock on the stairway to heaven in Genesis 28:11 and 22. Then there would be Moses, who experienced high definition, as did the 70 elders who accompanied him on the mountain in Exodus 24:9 through 11. Then there was the prophet Micaiah, seen into heaven in high definition. 2 Chronicles 18, verses 18 through 22. And Isaiah saw the Lord high and lifted up, and on the throne, and his robe filled the temple. And that's in Isaiah 6, 1 through 9. How about Stephen at his stoning, where Saul was there giving his approval in Acts 7, 51 and 55? And the most famous would have to be the Apostle John, where the revelation of heaven and earth, all before John in this encounter of high definition. No wonder the revelation is so difficult to understand. It's being written from a mind perspective that was in high definition. that was a glorified mind. We'll pick up on more of this tomorrow. This is Pastor Kevin Lindley, and this is the Holy Spirit Chronicles. Have a great evening.